In last week's video, I took you to Princeton's Pavilion and watched the show at night. Not long after building of this pavilion, my ancestor moved to Nanchang and family stayed here for more than 1,000 years.
Hello, I'm Yan Yan. I'm in Nanchang, Jiangxi province. It's my hometown. In today's video, I'll take you to explore this city.
It might be the first time for you to hear about Nanchang, but some of you might have watched this video on YouTube. 200 excavators lined up along an old bridge and tear it down overnight. It happened right in Nanchang. 3 years later in this place, a multi-level, freaking people like me out for not knowing which exit to take kind of new bridge is almost there. Nanchang is the capital city of Jiangxi province with a population of 5.6 million people. It is located in the north of Jiangxi province by the Gan River, which goes into the Yangtze River. The city was first built in 202 BC. 2,000 years ago, it was pretty much the southernmost place where Chinese civilization could reach. For centuries, the center of politics and economics of China was in the north, around the Yellow River region. It was not until Tang Dynasty in the 7th century that Nanchang came into the spotlight. And it was because of a poem called Preface to Princeton's Pavilion. I told you this story in last week's video. The poem made the pavilion a household name. It also made Nanchang famous. The poem described Nanchang as an efficaciously natural land that fostered remarkable people and whose natural products connected with heavenly treasure store. Besides a famous pavilion, we also have a pagoda.
The pagoda behind me is another landmark of Nanchang. It was also first built in Tang Dynasty, as local people believe it can guard the city away from floods, evil spirits, and all kinds of bad things. We think it's a very lucky pagoda.
This wooden pagoda is of southern China style, or Yangtze River Delta style. Each upturned eave has a copper bell hang on it. The bells on each floor represent a musical scale. There are 7 floors and the 7 musical scales. When breeze is blowing, they sing sweet songs. In the northwest of the city lies a mountain. It's the green area on this map. The peak of this mountain is called Mount Lion. It was where my parents met. In 1975, both my parents were relocated from the city to here to be farmers. At that time, it was mandatory for young people in the city to go living and farming in the rural areas. There are bamboos everywhere in the mountain. In the past, people cut bamboos and grew grains and vegetables. For 2 years, my parents had to climb up the mountain twice a day to farm. There were no steps like this at that time. Sometimes they had to climb with bare feet.
This is the peak of Mount Lion, also the highest point of Nanchang. There is a small village down there. That's where my parents used to live. Can you guys see this small village down there? It's where my parents met and lived for 2 years.
The name of the village is Rockwall. I thought it's a random name until I saw the peak of Mount Lion. There is a rock wall which can be seen far away. The village lies below the rock wall. I guess that's how it got its name. My dad always remembers he once wrote 5 huge characters on the rock wall with a long bamboo. In 1977, both my parents participated in the first national exam in the country and were successfully admitted to colleges. 2.5 years after they came to this village, they returned to the city. Now the mountain becomes the backyard of Nanchang. People in the city come here for hiking or just spending the weekend with the family. Recently, a glass whitewater rafting infrastructure was set up in the mountain. This became a new hot attraction for many people. The farmers get rich by providing accommodations and selling local products to tourists. This place is no longer the poor and dirty village in my parents' memories. Another thing we're proud of our city is that the first aircraft of China was manufactured here in 1954.
I'm standing in the old runway of Hongdu Aviation Industry Group. I have relatives working in this group, so I came here quite often. This place has my childhood memories. When I was little, my mom used to take me here to the grass by the runway to pick wild vegetables, shepherd purse. Do you know that vegetable?
Hongdu Aviation Industrial Group manufactured the first aircraft of China. It was a typical state-owned enterprise. In its best days, there were tens of thousands of people living there. The group had its own school, movie theater, hospital, park, stadium, and shopping mall. Local residents jokingly say that compared with a full-functioning city, the group only lacks a morgue. After reforms, many of these now function as independent entities. Some are gone, only old photos and memories are left.
Now, as you can see, this runway is abandoned because they built a new production center and a new runway in another area of the city. This land is now for the development of commercial real estate.
In the new production center, parts of an airplane called C919 are being manufactured. C919 is China's own large passenger aircraft. Airline companies around the world have placed 815 orders so far. In the new runway and in the sky of Nanchang, C919 is going through strict tests. In the near future, travelers around the world will have one more option in addition to Boeing and Airbus. In the past 2 decades, China experienced drastic urbanization. My city was not an exception. As the capital city of Jiangxi province, it attracted many people from rural areas in the province. As a result, the city expanded a lot. During my childhood, the city was only in the pink area. About 20 years ago, the city government started to develop the land in the blue area across the river. 5 years ago, they further expanded to the olive green area. A high-speed railway station was built in the area. At the same time, the city was also expanding eastward. As the city grew bigger, old transportation system could not meet the needs of local people. 3 lines of subway were built, and more are under construction. The Princeton's Pavilion witnessed the emergence of skyscrapers on both sides of the Gan River. The river has never been so beautiful. Among the new architecture in the other side of the river, there is a very special one. An architecture with the look of Chinese porcelain bowls and vases. It's actually a shopping mall. Why do they build such a mall in Nanchang?
I guess the reason they built such an architecture in Nanchang is because the best Chinese porcelains are from my province. If there's one takeaway from today's video, it is the best Chinese porcelain are from my province. I believe most antique Chinese porcelain collections you see in the museum in your country were from Jingdezheng, a city in north of Jiangxi province. I'll take you guys there in the future.
There is a park next to the shopping mall. In the summer, a night market is open every night. People can enjoy music and have food from around the country. There are many night markets like this in the city. Lastly, let's take a look at the city from the Ferris wheel. It's called Nanchang Star. This is my hometown. I just calculated and realized this year is its 2222nd anniversary. It is old, but it engages in new things. It is trying to be the center of virtual reality industry. A VR industrial zone with preferential policies is set up, and a high-level international VR industry conference is held in Nanchang every year. If you are in the VR industry, you can look it up. This is Nanchang. I hope you remember it. I hope you remember me. In next week's video, I'll take you to the city where I live, Beijing. And I'll start with the Great Wall. I'm Yan Yan. I love traveling and I love stories. I'll take you with me in my travel and tell you the stories happened in 5,000 years of Chinese history. Subscribe to my channel. I upload a video every Saturday. See you next week at the Great Wall.